Welcome to episode 71 of the Almost Daily Show. And we have a very special opening segment we've been working on for months. Dave, should we do it?
Yeah, we might as well.
It's going to be good. So we need you guys to rate us on 1 to 10 of how good this intro is. And so I'm going to start it off. You can expect to see this at the beginning of every show. He was like a god walking amongst mere mortals.
He had a voice that could make a Wolverine purr.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Wait, I think I just.
Did you just?
Yeah, I just had an idea.
This tape will
self-destruct in 5 seconds. That's it. I hope everybody enjoyed that. We wanted to use the actual video clips, but we're afraid eventually we'll get sued for that. So we're just going to do it in our own voices.
That's right.
And I think everybody's really going to enjoy it.
Well, I just enjoyed it.
I did. I had a blast listening to myself.
Oh, yeah.
I think I say that on every episode.
Well, it is a problem I have. I actually have mics everywhere in the world, so I can always talk into them.
It's true. Funny story, I carry a mic in my pocket.
That's true. That's true.
Keeps me on the straight and narrow. Keeps me out of the hood. You know what I mean? Got to earn my keep.
Oh, the West Coast hood.
Yeah, the West Coast hood. We don't mess around over here.
That's right.
We got a pretty cool episode that everybody's going to like today. I think it's really relevant in the market and relevant to a lot of the questions we're receiving. And so we just wanted to talk about holiday marketing, how you can organize your brand to build awareness around what you're doing during the holidays, and how you can create that differentiation and just showcase who you are while at the same time playing into the season. Yeah,
and this came up. I know we're organizing one in the gym that we own. We just came off a call with somebody that has this pretty well organized already. So we definitely want to share it with everybody. Or at least a concept with everybody so that everyone gets a little bit better jump this year and doesn't do simple stuff where, you're just doing a Facebook ad with a holiday offer, because that's not really, it's not in depth enough. It's not well thought out enough. It's not going to actually produce the results that you were hoping for. So we wanted to cut this show and help everybody get their head wrapped around a more in-depth, process.
Yeah, because what we see usually during the holidays, especially looking in forums and stuff, everybody's asking about what are you doing for Black Friday? And it's, well, we're not doing anything, but we have a whole branding and awareness system organized around Black Friday, or not Black Friday, around the entire holiday. So we have the whole season mapped out already. And what we essentially wanted to do, what we organized with a couple other people, was we want to have a series of videos coming out that are specifically talking about what you can do to help people during the holidays, how they can essentially live better lives, how they can get fit while they're busy and eating around with family. Dave had a pretty good idea he'll talk about for the holidays. And we use those videos to do one of two things. You're like, I don't know. And we use those videos to do one of two things. We either filter them to our website, which I would say is probably not the ideal option, or we can use those videos to either filter people, if you're in the gym, to a book now section, if you're using Facebook Messenger's booking feature that they just introduced, or we can set it up through a messenger campaign. So they watch the video and then at the top it says, hey, hope you enjoyed this video. You want a 5-part healthy eating series to help you get through the holidays. Click the button and then type nutrition in the messenger box. And then they get a whole nurturing and series campaign that sends them the guides and the information that you promised them, and then links to go purchase your services or to book your services. And so those are your three avenues, and they go from easy to most technical. So easy is just sending someone to your website. Medium is setting up the booking link on your messenger so people can opt in and book themselves. And then the most difficult is probably setting up an entire nurturing campaign, though it's not that difficult if you use platforms. Like we have something through Sprout Social and we have something through ManyChat we can use to set those up.
Yeah, and I think, you're basically describing it as marketing isn't just Facebook ad or, I got to get a website with a contact form that then I get a lead and I'm doing marketing. It works for some people. Maybe if you're in a market that just takes care of you. But ultimately, you want, we're always talking about the game plan. So what you should be doing is you should have an overall game plan where you want to get to and what the end result needs to be, and then start small, right? So start in wherever you're capable. If you don't have the help, whatever you can personally do, and you want to learn a little bit at a time and keep adding on to it. But eventually, this is kind of where, the world of how do I get people to actually pay attention and come by platforms is one side of marketing. And then how do I nurture all those people that are coming in so I can retarget and start actually communicating with and building a relationship with long-term. Those are kind of the two parts to it. And then having that overall game plan for how your personal brand, and it has like a fluidness to it where it's actually like it's all connected. It's not separate, marketing and then your actual business. It's the same thing. So actually having that long-term story that intertwines between it all is super important too. So those are kind of like the three pillars and how they come together.
Yeah, exactly. And we really want to focus on building that culture and the uniqueness behind our brand when we do this. So you'll use your staff to make videos. Maybe it's like a series of videos that they all produce, and then a final video that's the clients talking about why they love what they're doing there. And each one of those has a specific purpose in addition to the regular content you're putting out. So one caveat here is don't shut everything else you're doing down. You need to add on more to be significant in the season. So keep what you're doing, add these pieces to it, and then this additional layer becomes essentially your call to action layer on top of the content that's going out. So then these are the pieces that send people to the specific spots we want them to go, and the specific spots we know they're going to get them to either convert or be nurtured to a point to where they will convert. And that's when we make that decision. Do you want to be the guy who's doing the same thing as everyone else and running the holiday special? Or do you want to be the brand that's doing something way different that just gets people recognizing you and then Googling you when the holiday season ends and the New Year season starts? And ultimately, the more awareness you build around what you're doing, the more likely it is people are going to either opt in and work with you or Google you when they need that solution, because Google always wins. They are the solution-oriented piece.
And ultimately, as we're talking about all this complexity in your marketing, just remember that if you're putting out content and you're running ads and your friends are referring, this happens a lot. Is a friend refers a friend who just goes to the website and fills out a form, and you're like, oh, I went to the wrong coach and that was supposed to be my lead, and whatever happens with it. But just remember, someone goes to your website, they fill out a form. You want to have some sort of a system in place to nurture them, not just I call them and that's it. You want something in place. Maybe it's an email nurture system. If they come in through social media and maybe they, communicate with you through Messenger, right, or ManyChat, you need a different type of campaign on that. So it's the same. You might have the same campaign, but it's actually running on two different platforms to the client or the potential client, and it's in the platform that they're in. You're not always trying to figure out how to funnel them to your one platform that has the one lead nurture system that is email marketing, right? So you want to make sure that you understand that you need to actually be on multiple platforms at this point. And probably they all have the same type of a funnel and flow, just through different platforms.
Yeah. So I think when you organize this whole campaign, you have, obviously most people are going to be doing this on Facebook and Instagram, and hopefully we're getting a little YouTube in there as well. And so each one of these has specific instances where the call to actions will send someone to a different spot. So like on our Stone Age Fuel Facebook page, if you click the Learn More button, it takes you to a specific page organized for people who come off Facebook. If you go Instagram, it takes you to a specific page for Instagram. The pages might look similar, but they're set up in a way that we can track where people are going from. And then YouTube, you set up your cards and your in-screen videos and all that. And everything sends them to either another piece of content to help them, or to that website, or to your email nurture system, or to your messenger nurture system. And the big craze on Messenger right now is popular because people actually open it. But there was one thing that I saw on one of the forums. Someone got a client or a potential customer who complained about the bots and said the bots were spammy. And so this is a huge distinction we need to make before marketers ruin this entire Messenger platform. So if you think it's not going to be ruined in 24 months, marketers will completely ruin this and nobody will want to open them anymore. But so right now it's prime because people are opening it. So when you do it, what I like to do is add in an additional humanistic layer. So they can go on, they can get all the nurture stuff. they can always type stop to stop it, or they can type talk to a human, and immediately a human gets pinged to actually talk to them and interact with them. And if we're upfront and telling them like, hey, this is a bot, this is your friendly neighborhood bot. If you want to talk to a human, just type this in. You add that layer to where it's not as spammy, to where they understand, okay, I am talking to a bot, but if I do need to talk to a human, they're available as well. If you try to hide it and pretend like your bot is a human, I think that's when you get yourself into trouble and become super spammy.
Well, ultimately, I mean, it's how we do it. It's not how most of the world does it. But when you're looking at relationship marketing, it's just that. You're trying to actually connect with people and build relationships. And so if you have an AI bot as part of your process, it really is, it's to make sure that there's instant communication. So if you have a potential client that text message, well, let's say they fill out instant messenger, they send you a message or email or whatever it is, and it takes you 24 hours because you're busy to respond. That's a problem, because they're probably going on 5 other sites just like yours, and they're doing the same thing. So having that immediate response, it could be as simple as, hey, thank you for contacting us. We really appreciate it. Someone will be in touch with you today, right? Or what's better time to call, this morning or this afternoon? Whatever it is, just an initial thing to get going. Then you can always make sure it goes human after. But when they think they're talking to a person, they realize they're not. You're going to lose more people at this point, because nobody wants to talk to bots. They want to actually build that relationship.
Yeah. And as these holiday campaigns really get motoring and function, and you're getting a lot of questions, I think one thing people really neglect to do is compile every question they get. So what you do with this is you compile that. And if you are using something like ManyChat, the person comes to the website and says, hey, how are you doing? What can we help you with today? And option 1, I want to book an appointment with you guys. Option 2, I have questions for you guys. Option 3, I hate this bot, I want to talk to a human. And so that, say they pick option 2 and they click on that and it comes up, okay, what's your question about? And it has all the specific like categories of questions you've received. They click on a category, and then it just continues to help them down the line without you having to be there. And then if they get frustrated, they just say, I want to talk to a human. And then it switches out and goes right to the human speaking. And so I think that's pretty important that that kind of stuff happens, and that we're organized in that way. We need to pay attention. Like we talk about this about listening. When you run these campaigns, we need to pay attention to what's happening and listen to what people are saying, compile all of that, and use it to help other people down the road who are going to have the same or similar questions.
Absolutely. So let's connect this to holiday marketing now. We were just talking about kind of the overall flow, what you need to be looking at and setting up for your businesses. But now holidays, right? So how do we actually use the holidays to communicate with more people and get them engaged?
Yeah.
What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, so what we want to do in holidays is essentially build brand awareness around what we're doing. And we talked about the 3 pathways you can use to actually make this happen. And the way you're going to structurally organize this is, what I would do is have videos running. And you can have one video running for the whole thing from like the middle of maybe the 2nd week of December till the 3rd week in January or something like that. Or you can have fresh videos going up each week that you promote to that, and have the little learn more button so people can click to go to one of the 3 pathways to talk about. But I think the most important thing is you utilize your customers in the videos, you utilize your coaches and your people in the videos, and they each lead into something else, and they all have a similar dynamic and a similar flow. So you might have a system organized around giving tips for the holidays, and each staff member gives a specific tip. And then at the end, you have a client who comes on and talks about how much this place like helped them during the holidays and how it built them up and all that. So that's like the pinnacle of everything you've been building that momentum up to. And you need to make sure while you're doing this, you go to a specific audience. And so we always talk about like lookalike audiences. This is a prime audience that will most likely convert if you build up the momentum beforehand, and if you give them a reason to care. They're not just going to convert because it's a special lookalike audience. You have to actually take the time to nurture and build that audience to a level to where they actually care through this holiday-based content. So maybe it's 5 nutrition videos, how to stay healthy during the holidays. Maybe it's make your back not hurt from picking up presents or boxes during the holidays. Anything like that. Something you can do to give people helpful tips that they can look forward to, that you can put out on your Facebook, you can send out via email, and then you can funnel people into your other pathways along the way.
I'm going to throw this out ahead of my example, but how to shop
in
a busy grocery store during the holidays, which is a nightmare, which is why I don't do it. I actually have a
no, it's perfect.
And the
I like that.
So something that our meeting's technically tomorrow over this, so I'm gonna kind of give it away before we actually get it officially done. But so at the Treehouse, we will be doing the 12 days of the Treehouse, and we'll have a whole healthy holidays theme, right? So we'll do, we're going to put some music to it, and on the 12th day of Treehouse, right? Put that out and have some fun and bring the members in on it. And so that'll be the content that pushes out. So we'll have a 12-day countdown on it, and we'll really try to get a lot of exposure. I know for our business, we'll boost it a lot. So we usually do a $4 to $5 a day boost strategy. But since I'm going to do one a day and really try to pump it up for a close out of it, I'll probably make it more of a marketing budget. We'll increase that a lot. I'll probably at least double it, see how it works the first couple days. And if it's working well, we'll probably double it again for the remainder.
Yeah, I think when we look at budget for the holidays, most people, if you've listened to previous episodes and how we talk about how you utilize the boosting button and not just tell everybody not to use it because you don't know what you're doing, go back and watch that episode, because you can use this boost button effectively to get all your content going, be time efficient, and have the specific audiences and segments you want to go straight just by clicking that button because you've saved it all. So the way I would organize the money that you're going to spend during this is typically we recommend gyms have like like you're saying, a $4 or $5 a day promoting strategy for all of their content. Then these call to actions, maybe those are a $10 a day strategy. And so we see gyms especially are most effective from between like a $5 and a $15 a day strategy. So now you're at 10 for your call to action videos, you're at 5 for your regular content, $15 for the day total. And that gives you all of the information coming out on those specific videos. They're still seeing the current videos, and then they're more likely to convert because you're putting more money into those campaigns. And Facebook can learn who is actually going to convert and who's not, or Instagram or wherever you're running it to. And so then I think you can run that one of two ways. If you do a website thing, you send them to your website for website clicks, or you run a conversion. And conversions work really well if you're getting 10 or more people to fill out those forms, probably a week. If not, then you want to run the website clicks.
Yeah, and I think to look at this a little different, like, so instead of running one ad over the holidays, we're looking at making it a 12-day ad. And that's different than our regular content. So we have a whole strategy that Chan and I implement with everybody, relationship marketing, and we teach this long-term strategy. So this is this doesn't replace the daily content that needs to be produced. This becomes for me, what I'm doing, it becomes a 12-day advertisement where I'm going to make sure that I up the cost or up the budget into it, and then calls to action. So let's talk about a few different calls to action they can do. I know one of them is what you've been running, Chan, is through ManyChat to type nutrition into the box and get a healthy eating 5-part series. Yeah,
so we talked about one of 3 ways you can go. So you can send them to the website. Your text at the top of the video can be, hey, hope you're enjoying our videos. We'd love to be your accountability partner in your fitness and get you fit for good this time. Click the button below and let's get started for free or whatever. So you give people the opportunity to get started without a huge commitment. And that's how you get people to essentially funnel through, or at least how you get people to fill out the form and then go in and do what you're selling or what you're talking about. And then when you go into like Messenger though, what we've organized is basically we've taken what we have in terms of like, and from that, we've been able to organize campaigns to where it says on the text above the video, like, hey, hope you're enjoying all this all this helpful information we're putting out. Click the button below and type nutrition in the Messenger box, and we'll send you a free 5-part healthy eating series. And so they type nutrition either in the comments, and the comments, they'll take them right over, which is like a links to comments. So they see the video and they type nutrition in the comments, takes them to Messenger, and then it says blah, blah, blah. Here's the link. Yeah, here's what it is. Type nutrition and we'll get you started. And so then they type it, then it pops up and automatically sends them a 5-part healthy eating series. And so they get the first part, we type a bunch of text, and then below it, it says like, hey, you need some help with this. Let's get in contact and let's get started. And so each piece has an additional segment of the 5-part series, and then a like, let's get started, or hey, check out what we can offer you in addition to that. Then afterward, what we've been doing is we've just been building up a Messenger subscriber list. So now we have people who are subscribing to that list. And when we send email broadcasts out, we send Messenger broadcasts at the same time. So we're capable of talking to everybody who's on our list and who's subscribed to it. And in the same way we do via email, and in the same workflows we have via email.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, I know it can be overwhelming because that was just a whole lot of information.
I just threw up all over the screen.
It's, I think you did.
So it's dripping
down my side. So, it's not something where you just like say, oh, I'm just going to set the whole thing up. It really takes, there's definitely some practice. And we always come back to it is you really need to have an overall strategy or it doesn't work. And I know, a lot of the times it's what we see. It's just like, why can't we just run, a Facebook ad and call it a day to get the lead to close the business? And you can just nurture people so much better than that, and not cookie cutter, not like, pay me a few $100 and I'll give you an out of the box solution. It really does need to constantly be adjusted and built around you, your expertise, your facilities expertise, the people in it, and make sure that, you're actually building the relationships and the audience out there. And the holidays is a perfect time to do that.
Yeah, it's huge. And that's what we do when we build these Messenger campaigns and these videos for everybody we work with. It's all organized around them. We don't use a blanket. We might have like a skeleton of what we think we should do, but then we're going to culture, the branding, the speaking, the personality, and every piece of information we put out is written specifically around the way they operate and the way they move and the way they talk and the way they speak and the way their customers want to be interacted with. Because then when we put things out on Messenger and they get all these campaigns, it doesn't look like a robotic thing. It looks like something that they actually took the time to write and took the time to care about.
Yeah. And it also takes a little bit more work this way. So, right. A little disclaimer. It's if you're looking to pay money and not think about it and have things just launch, that's definitely not what we do. Definitely not. But I think what we find is because we work as a team with people and collaborate, we bring a better overall strategy and better ideas and everything to the table, but ultimately they also have a responsibility with the team to get work done with us. But we know that works long term.
Yeah, exactly. And we're more concerned with what this is going to do to your brand and your business long term and whether or not it's going to work at long term versus what can we do right now. And I think that's really what separates what we do. Number one, it's always unique and it's always different. And number two, we're always in the long-term game. We're making sure we're aware of what's going to happen. We're seeing if the market's going to start copying everything or if there's a capability to copy things. And then we can see if whether or not what's happening now is going to flood the market. And so we're working on Messenger a little bit, but we know that in 24 months that marketers are going to completely ruin it and it's going to get lower open rates and people aren't going to care about as much, or Facebook's going to kibosh the ability to do anything on it. And so you keep what you're doing open and pushing into the right avenues, but also pushing into specific avenues might be helpful in the future, and never putting all your eggs into one basket.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Oh, Chad. No, about what?
I'm really not going to, but I think I had to say it at some point. Someone had to disagree with you. So, no, you know what though? So I think it's not putting all your eggs in one basket, but the basket that you want to focus on is your story and culture and making sure you're consistent with having that plan for how you actually produce content and push it out to the world. That just has to be non-negotiable. Because what happens is if you're not doing it and you're relying on all the other platforms with ad spend and different things, they just keep making it harder and harder to actually work for you. So the results that people are getting from it all gets worse and worse because you don't get in front of as many people. So you still have to build it organically. It's the way to win long term, and it's the way to kind of bulletproof your business from, having Facebook not give you organic reach anymore out of nowhere.
Yeah, you always got to be ready for the market change, the market dynamics, and where it's headed. And that's why, right, like for us, the future is some sort of, it's going to be videos and listening to stuff. And that's what's going to happen. So that's kind of where we're setting a lot of people up for success now for the future on. And it might not be the biggest thing. Like videos are popular now, audio is becoming bigger, but these things are avenues that we're looking for and we're actively paying attention to. And we always test on ourselves and work into what we're doing. And then we start funneling people once we figure out best practices, like a daily podcast. Right.
Yeah. And almost daily.
Yeah, almost daily, because you don't quite want to commit to every day.
I love it. So yeah, this is a good show.
Good times.
What should people do now?
Everybody should go organize a whole series of videos. It takes like 3 to 5 weeks to get through. That'll funnel you through the holidays and funnel you a couple weeks into the new year, and then get those on Facebook and Instagram and start getting those promoted so people can pay attention to it. And if you want to see what the healthy eating campaign looks like, just go to facebook.com/Stone Age Fuel, go to the messenger, send the page a message and just type nutrition and you'll get the whole thing. You'll also be added to our subscriber list.
See how easy that was?
So if you want to see how that works, just go in there and check that out. If not, just start making videos and get stuff put out and start working on getting people watching it. So send people to your website, send people to your booking, or send people to your messenger platforms. It depends on what you want to do and how you want it to operate. And if you need help, just comment or post in our forums and we'll work through stuff together. Or if you're already working with us, we'll build and work on stuff with you.
That's right. Good job, guys. Yeah, if you're already working with us and you're listening to this, make sure you're booked in. We're trying to get through everybody by the end of next week with their overall holiday plan.
Yeah. All right.
Later.